Hmm. All right, everyone. Good morning and happy Monday, the 16th of June. Hope the weekend was good to you. Came and went fast as always. All right. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, AJ. Good morning, Mirza. Andrew. Yeah, Andrew. How about Caitlin Clark? I turned the game on, sat down for about 45 and a half seconds. She drained like 3 threes in a row. She's pretty unreal. All right. Good morning, Debbie. All right, guys. So let's get jumping in here. Decent action on the futures. Got the NQ up about 0.85%. Bitcoin futures up 1.6. The S&P futures up 0.7. The RUT up about 1% and change, and the YM up about 0.6. So we did have a little bit of a dip last week. Here's the thing though. It's a lot like the dip you had from back here. You catch a leg to the upside. You pull back to the rising 21 EMA. This is a daily NQ. All right, they pump it. They reversion to the mean. Pull back to your 21. You hold it, no issues. You keep on grinding higher. You pull back to your 21. You hold it, no issues. One of my golden rules in trading, I can't get bearish as long as the price is above that 21. Take it a step further. Price above the 21 with a daily buy signal, good structure, momentum trend, and a daily squeeze. It's not a guarantee they're going to break it out, of course, but I think until you get one, call it two closes back below that 21, they got the squeeze, they got the structure. There's a buy signal on a weekly chart down to a 5-minute. Till that changes, try to lean towards looking for a breakout. So we got the NQ sitting pretty, and then S&P futures. Till things change, kind of the same ebb and flow. You get a leg to the upside, reversion to the rising 21 EMA. You don't close below it, you don't break structure, you don't flip momentum, you don't get a sell signal. Kick it back, they hold it, pump it back up, they kick it back, they hold it. And yeah, here we are at the recent highs. So till things change, I think you're taking the NQ and the ES daily squeeze. With patience, with good setups, of course, trying to play for a breakout. If they fail that breakout, they pull it back, you get 1-2 closes back below your 21. Then I think a short-term short gets a lot easier. And don't get me wrong, if you're quick with it, you can make a great profit catching that pullback to that 21 EMA. You maybe catch that on a 5-minute sell signal, 15-minute sell signal. My thinking's always a little bit more. If we're bullish, we got buy signals, we have a daily squeeze. Let price pull back. Till things change, I'm trying to buy that dip. So a few things there on the futures. Let's go take a quick peek at the Bitcoin, the coin of the bit. So BTC also in a daily squeeze. Quick comparison, the NQ versus the Bitcoin futures. Daily chart for daily chart, they both have a daily squeeze. But if we look up here in the top right-hand corner, green label means big three buy signal. So now you got a moment in time where the NQ has a daily squeeze. All right, you've entered the compression phase. You're building up all the energy. Then in terms of trying to call for timing and direction, weekly charts bullish, 15-minute bullish, a 5-minute, a 1, a 2, a 3. Again, no promises in trading. Doesn't guarantee they're going to break it out. But compare that to the Bitcoin futures, you got a lot more blue. Blue is just neutral. It might be a little bit bullish, might be a little bit bearish. We're looking for more. So yeah, decent looking daily squeeze. No 5-minute buy trigger, no 15, no 30, no hourly. That kind of thing, you keep it on the watch list, you watch it. They get their first 15-minute buy signal today. They get their first 30-minute, 1-hour buy signal today. Then you maybe think about buying some of the Bitcoin. And then gold futures, I do like the daily squeeze here for the gold futures. I do. So this one has a 5-minute sell signal and then your neutral on a 2 hour, 1 hour, 30, 15. I don't mind the entry up here. I think it's an even better entry closer to, call it 3,400, call it 3,350. But beggars cannot be choosers, so that's pretty sharp. And then the 3-day squeeze here, also pretty solid. So I'm thinking for the folks in my room, there's two ways you could play that daily squeeze on gold. You could take a swing trade approach. All right, I'm jumping in. I'm buying the gold futures at. You could buy GLD. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to buy the gold futures at 34.35. At that point, I think you got to put the exit below that 21 EMA. So 33.40. And then I'm going to sit back, take that daily squeeze, try to play for a push into 35.50-ish. And frankly, with a daily squeeze, that's kind of my preferred approach. The other train of thought is, okay, if they can take that daily squeeze and it does fire long, they've got a pretty good shot at a path from 34.35 into 35.50. So I can maybe kind of, shuck and jive and play for that path by jumping in, buying it on a 5-minute squeeze, catch it on a 15-minute, catch it on a 30-minute. In other words, taking more of a day trade approach. The bigger picture setup might get you into that 35.50. Along the way, they might give you 2, 3 really good-looking 15-minute, 5-minute squeezes. You jump in, you day trade it, you wine it and dine it, go to bed in cash. But yeah, gold future setting up nicely, and then let's go take a quick peek at the cashola. So cash SPY gonna open right at the big 600. The great over/under level at 600. So my biggest question here for the cash indexes will be, when we open, am I getting a fresh 5-minute buy signal? Am I getting a 15-minute? Can they get anything going on a 30-minute? Anything on the hourly? The futures imply they might, but we got to confirm it on the cash. 5-minute squeeze, 2-hour squeeze, and then cash QQQ. Again, for me, tough to look at that daily chart and think, yeah, I've got to get heavily short. Trend of the chart is bullish. The structure of the chart is bullish. Momentum is bullish. Don't get me wrong. There might be a kickback from 527 to that 520. All right, healthy dip, reversion to the mean, your typical bullish ebb and flow. If I'm going to play for that short, it's a day trade or a scalp. I'll go to bed with a short, break 520, 1-hour sell signal, 30-minute sell signal, cancel the daily buy. In other words, they actually go and do some damage. Bears causing some ruckus. But all right, guys, there's the indexes for you, and then a few things we're watching here for the week ahead. Well, speaking of the week ahead, do not forget we got a short week. Market is closed on Thursday. And then we have the honor and the privilege of hearing from Pavel on Wednesday. That's right, JP and the boys. Then we have the interest rate decision before Pavel. We got the jobless claims, and then we got OpEx on Friday. So JP Wednesday, market closed on Thursday, and the old OpEx on Friday. All of the moving parts. So keep all that in mind. But yeah, for a few setups here. One that we are currently long in the room is JP Morgan, which held up pretty good last week. S&P's flush, QQQ flush, JP nice and strong. So you've got the daily squeeze setting up, the white arrow, perfect score of 15, the trend, the structure. There's a call wall here at 270. They got maybe 15, 20 cents from that call wall on the Wednesday candle. If they can get it and keep it above that 270, I think a pretty quick path into, call it 275-ish. On the flip side, if they get one or two closes back below that 21, they hold it once, they hold it twice, they hold it three times. They break that level, that squeeze, maybe tries to roll over and fire short, which I don't want to be there for that, of course. So we are keeping that one for now, looking for a breakout and a push towards 275. Looking like 266, 267-ish here at the open. We got that one. We have not the best trade here so far, but we got a 250, 240 put credit spread on coin. One of those trades where you get long and then you were the one that put in the high a day. So we had jumped in back here off the hourly squeeze. Great setup, white arrow, all the bells and the whistles. Then it takes an immediate dump. Looking like 249-ish here at the open. No, we don't have an out-the-money call debit spread. Granted, your put credit spread's not as sexy as an out-the-money call debit spread, but they can be a little bit more forgiving. So at a minimum, if they can get it and keep it back above that daily 21, they can rebuild a 15-minute, rebuild a 30. Try to get it back in better standing, at which point I think we're in good shape. So keeping JP Morgan, being patient with the Coinbase. And then next up here is Palantir. Now, you had the call wall at 140 for the last couple of weeks. And to show you guys how big these call walls can be, which if you're not familiar, these come from Spot Gamma, which I've got no affiliation with. JC's done some work with them. Henry's pretty close to them. But if we check Palantir, so on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday of last week, you had your call wall level up there at 140. And the call walls can do two things. One, they can be very magnetic. So, for example, you catch Palantir on this 30-minute squeeze. You catch it around 132, 133. From there, your call walls up here at 140. It can make for a great roadmap. I've got my bullish moment in time. Squeeze white arrow. I've got about $7 or $8 runway towards that call wall. Big magnetic level, big sticky target. I love that trade. We did that on Netflix going back maybe about a month ago. There was a beautiful 30-minute squeeze around 1150. It had a call wall at 1200. Jump in, get long, off goes a push. Easy peasy. But point being, off of that 30-minute squeeze, the high of day on that candle was 140 to the penny. From the 30-minute squeeze directly to the call wall. And they dump it, pull back, they chop, they get another really good-looking 30-minute squeeze. They pop it, and the high of day on that candle was 139.99. They pump it once, they stop it at the call wall. Pull back, rebuild, they pump it again, they stop it at the call wall. And now for today's session, call walls pop from 140 into 150. That doesn't mean you wake up and go buy a 150 call on Palantir. But from more of a roadmap perspective, all right, now things get a little bit more interesting. 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour daily squeeze setting up. Daily squeeze of the white arrow variation. All right, now with a call wall up here at 150. On a closing basis, they can get it and keep it above that 140. No promise, no guarantee, but I think an easier path from the short-term high towards that 150 call wall. If they can't get it and keep it through 140, they could pump the call wall to 250. Ain't going to do it too much good here in the short term. But for now, looking like a gap into 140 and change. So that shall be the over-under on the Palantir. And then pulling up the spreadsheet here, do which I've got somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so as of last Friday's close, a few of your stronger names would be Raytheon, Oracle, big action there from Oracle, Palantir, PM, GLD, Spotify, DoorDash, Crowd, AXON, KLAC. We'll take a look at a few of those, and then looking at the sectors here. The good would be gold, utilities, silver, ARC, XLK, Big Ten, SMH. The neutral would be your biotech, your healthcare, your XLY, materials, or real estate. And your weaklings would be XLP and the transports. Them transportationals. And then Big Ten basket. Only issue here, of course, is Apple. Negative 77. And I don't think Apple gets too much good here on a little pre-market prop. Pre-market pop. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so here's Apple. Daily squeeze setting up. You have a negative 10. Trend has gone bearish. The structure has gone bearish. And then it's got a sketchy little 4-hour squeeze setting up. It's a big 4-hour squeeze, actually. Negative 15, A plus for a short. Busted trend structure. So they're going to pop that into looking like 198-ish. Which, yeah, that won't change really anything about that 4-hour squeeze. Might be good for morale, if anything, but I think short-term Apple below 200 could be a little sketch. But putting that one aside, the rest are pretty decent. Google's got that beautiful monthly squeeze. And I'm thinking I may be coming here this week and buy a few of the 200 calls for December or January expiration. Monthly squeeze from November of 23. White arrow kicks off about a 55% rally. And they pull back, they pop, they go for a little more, they pull back, they squeeze, white arrow. Here's what I love about it. You're wrong in the short term below, much below 160, really. You could even call that 155. They break that monthly 21, they close below it. You're wrong on the idea here in the short term. If you're right on the idea, and it's not a 15-minute squeeze or a daily or an hourly, it might be in compression come September, October. So I think a trade, you really got to give all the time in the world. But the beauty of it is you're wrong about 15, 20 points lower, and my target would be about 50, 60 bucks higher. Not too shabby on the RR. So I'm liking that one for kind of, set it and forget it trade. And then who else is interesting here on the Big Ten? Amazon setting up. Netflix with a brand new daily squeeze, which I'm not in a huge rush to buy just yet. The goal would be, could they get it like, give you all the visual. Could they turn the current Netflix daily squeeze into this kind of daily squeeze? Excuse me. I choke up talking about it. This is Crowd from back in late May. Daily squeeze sets up. You got the white arrow. You've got a 5-minute buy signal, 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, daily, weekly. Really, really good moment in time to get long. Bullish daily squeeze and really good alignment. So by comparison, Netflix is a little bit more neutral. We don't have a white arrow on the daily chart yet. And then my 5-minute chart is bearish. My 15-minute chart is bearish. Little too much blue. But if they can get it, I'll be all over that one. And then a couple more for you fine folks. Showed you JP Morgan, showed you Palantir. Then you've got Crowd here. So we had traded crowd on that push, jumped in, took our profit. A little choppy. 30-minute, 1 hour, and a 4-hour squeeze. And I'd be a buyer on any of them with a white arrow. So keeping the eyes on coin. And then final two here would be, let's go check out that weekly squeeze on DoorDash, and then a little ABT for you. So the Dasher, I think I DoorDash maybe 3 times this weekend. $1,000 in the hole. All right, DoorDash with got to take out a loan now. A weekly, a 4-hour, a 2-hour, in hourly 15-minute, 5-minute squeeze. The big dog here, the big man on campus, would of course be that weekly squeeze. All right, white arrow, target around 240. The only thing you'd want to keep in mind from a time till expiration standpoint, position sizing standpoint, it'll be a really good looking weekly squeeze down to about 200, 195-ish. In the same way the QQQ futures have been a really good looking daily squeeze, from the highs at 21, 22 100 down to about 21 450. No change in momentum, no change in structure. Tis a bit of a dippin'. That being said, though, for DoorDash, they've kind of taken a big enough of a chill pill. Now price isn't too far from your daily 21. So goal would be, or question would be, could we get a white arrow squeeze on the 4-hour, the 2, the hourly, or the 15? And we've already got that on the weekly. That big boy is kind of trying to set the stage. Weekly compression, weekly buy signals, ABC. What that one time frame can do by itself is just kind of set the stage for that push. It's got the compression criteria, the momentum, the structure, the trend that can make for a path into 2.5 to third ATR. By itself, it can set the stage. Then you want to look down. Is my daily chart bullish? My 4-hour, my 2-hour? The alignment. But yeah, I would like that for an entry. Not too far from your daily 21 with a big weekly squeeze behind it. Cherry on top would be a white arrow on the 4-hour squeeze, the 30. Shall see what we can get. But all right, guys, few picks for you there. Watching Palantir, DoorDash, Crowd, JP Morgan, Netflix. Real quick here, ABT. The Abbott. Abbott with a weekly, a 3-day, a 2-day, a daily, and a 4-hour. Squeeze Fest in ABT. But here's the real kicker. It could be Palantir, could be Netflix, could be Crowd, NVIDIA, Tesla. If the index is going to paint this picture, they pop it back to the short-term high. They poke their head above the short-term high. Then they dump the thing right back down. Then all these ideas might not work. All right, Palantir going for a breakout, big solid daily squeeze. If later today, Tuesday, Wednesday, sees the index is giving up the goods, it doesn't mean Palantir can't break out. The odds get a little bit harder. On the flip side, that S&P's breakout, QQQ breaks out, you got a market boogieing back to the all-time high. Doesn't guarantee Palantir breaks out, but I like the odds a little bit better. But yeah, don't forget we got Powell on Wednesday, jobless claims. Market close for Thursday, and then the OPEX on Friday. shall not be a dull one. But all right, guys, any questions for me? Any chart requests? Anything you want to take a peek at? Hang out here for a few minutes, and I got you covered. All right, little 5-minute squeeze here for the NQ. What can a 5-minute squeeze do for you? We about to find out. Hey, good morning, JR. Hope you had a good weekend. So, yeah, great question. So, what triggers a white arrow? So let's go look at the Google monthly squeeze. So we get a white arrow on the chart or the squeeze histogram when we have both an active squeeze and then a big 3 score of 15. Big 3 score of 15 comes from the trend, structure, momentum checklists. And if you take that checklist, total it up, there's 15 different, call it, data points. Do we have stacked EMAs? Are we above our 21? Where's my 200? What's the direction of the 50? 15 different things, and the Bulls have got them all. You've got really good trend criteria, structure, momentum, and a squeeze. And the whole goal of the squeeze is, all right, we found that compression. Right, taking a breather, building up the energy, drinking the Gatorade, eating the carbs. The squeeze tells you, hey, I'm gearing up for a push. Could be right now, could be in a couple of weeks, but I'm fixing to bust a move here sometime soon. Then we got to figure out, all right, will that be today, tomorrow, a month from now? And will that more likely be a flush lower as a squeeze breaks short or a pop higher as a squeeze breaks long? Something I think we should all do with our favorite setups. Granted, I'm more of a one-trick pony, but those 15 different things came from taking as many examples of hourly squeezes, 15-minute, 5-minute, weekly, daily, and really trying to figure out what makes these things tick. When you find a daily squeeze like crowd, and you buy it on that candle, and there's no drama, no drawdown, no headaches. You're long, they push you into a profit, they gap it up, they break it out. Trying to find as many examples as possible of that, and then trying to dig deep and figure out, all right, what are those common characteristics from a structure perspective, from a direction of your moving averages point of view, momentum. And I think this holds true across a lot of different setups with most indicators. It could be a breakout pattern, it could be a compression pattern, it could be a wedge pattern, it could be a lot of patterns. Whatever your indicator set is, uh, that same move, that same moment in time, they tend to look exactly the same. The saying we have here at Simpler is history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So I started figuring out, all right, when you got those beauties like crowd, you buy it, big breakout, big push. Here's a few things that always happen. And then the opposite. When I find a squeeze that looks like the inverse chart of crowd, energy building up, big flush, break short. When you get that kind of moment in time, what are those common characteristics? And then the third thing being, when I find a big squeeze and nothing happens, like it ain't breaking out, it ain't breaking down, it's just a glorified chop fest. What do things look like during that moment in time? That was a bit of a long-winded answer, but that's where the white arrow comes from. Squeeze and the 15 different criteria. So, for example, the QQQ futures daily squeeze. We're not there just yet. And it leans bullish for sure. Green label, 13 points. But not the full enchilada just yet. Not the full kit and caboodle, as they say. All right, good morning, Stephen King. The great Stephen King. How do you deal when there, say, is a 5 minute squeeze but no 15 minute? Okay, so good question. So from a multi-time frame point of view, I think the most important thing is alignment in your directional signals. So what I mean by that is if we take the Broadcom, trying to find a really good example here. Okay, so if I take the 1 hour squeeze here for NVIDIA, if I want to take that squeeze for either a long or a short, it's a huge bonus point if at the same time other time frames are also in a squeeze. I think very much the more the merrier. If I want to buy the 1 hour chart or short the 1 hour chart, it's not a requirement, but I love it if I have a 15-minute squeeze, a 30-minute, a 5 minute. Again, the more the merrier. But what I think is a lot more important than multiple squeezes is just really good alignment. Meaning I'm going to come in and I'm going to short my QQQ 1 hour squeeze. Let me give you a better example from crowd, actually. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so the whole foundation focus of this trade was the crowd daily squeeze. And again, I think it's a bonus point if I can look over here at these labels and, hey, we got a weekly squeeze and we also have a 1 hour squeeze. I love that. More time frames of building up the energy. What I found is way more important. I want to look up here at these labels and I want to have that same alignment across all these different time frames. Meaning, in plain English, if I'm going to buy that daily squeeze, I want to check the time frame above my daily chart, the weekly, and ideally that's bullish. You can imagine tough to buy a daily squeeze if you're in a weekly downtrend. In this case, you got good alignment, bullish on your daily and bullish on your weekly. Then I want to take that squeeze and quote unquote pop open the hood. Go look at all the lower time frames inside of it. In the case of crowd, you had a 2 hour buy signal, the 1 hour, the 30, the 15, and the 5. So now I think we've added a lot of edge to that one moment in time. We have a very bullish daily squeeze, but then I got to call for timing and direction. Weekly chart confirms my thinking. 2 hour chart says, hey, I'm bullish. 1 hour chart says I'm bullish. 30-minute bullish. 15-minute, 5-minute bullish. So this is your piece of dynamite. Daily squeeze, white arrow, target at 475. Your match to go and light the fuse. Your 5-minute buy trigger, your 15, your 30, your 1, your 2. So then we go jump back to Netflix real quick. Hey, great for Netflix. You got a 4 hour squeeze, a 1 hour, a 15-minute, and a 5. It's not just your daily squeeze. I can't buy that because I got no buy trigger. 5-minute bearish, 15-minute bearish, 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour daily neutral. So this is most important. If I'm going to buy that daily squeeze, I'm checking above it and I'm checking below it. And again, then the fact you got a nice hourly squeeze setting up, you got a big weekly squeeze setting up, major bonus points. But that's a bonus point, and this is a requirement. It's a really, really good question. And I'll grab the link for you here. Simplertrading.com. All right, let me grab that link for you, Steven. Is this the Stephen King? If so, my brother's a big fan. How about a Stephen King novel about a squeeze that breaks short? The squeeze that fired counter trend. All right, I'm trying to grab the link here. The webpage's being in a. There we go. There it is. All right, so there's a link for the indicator in the YouTube chat. And then Lon Don, great question. So let me talk to the team here today, figure out the logistics. But I just finished recording a free squeeze class last week. Full deep dive into the original squeeze, the stacked DMAs. It kind of works up to my squeeze system. But yeah, I recorded that free class last week. So let me touch bases with the team here and figure out A, when that class will be available, and then B, where can you download it for free. So if anything, try to catch me back here Wednesday morning, and I'll try to have an update for you on that by then. The Magnificent King. But all right, guys, I got to go take the folks in my room and the main room here through the open. I got the honor and the privilege. So yeah, be patient, be disciplined. Short market week, Powell on Wednesday, OPEX on Friday. But the way I see things is until it changes, and in my book, it'll change with a close below the daily 21 EMA. Till that happens, we got a nice daily squeeze. We got buy signals. We'll find out if they want it. But hey, thank y'all again. Happy Monday. I appreciate all the other great questions. Go get them, and I'm back with you same time, same channel on Wednesday morning. Adios.